Hello and welcome back to another Pro Guides video. Who else also got dizzy from all the new stuff from Set 2? It's been a lot of fun, and our Challenger and Grandmaster analysts have been testing a lot of comps. We're here to make things a little easier for you by creating a list of the top 10 best champions in Set 2. Since rank isn't out and there's no hard meta yet, these units are ones that we know to shine very strongly and can carry a fight for you. So don't know what to pick? Feeling overwhelmed by everything? Well, if you see a unit from this list, try building a comp around them. But before we begin, remember to click our link below in our description to see more in-depth guides, builds, and ways to win you your next games. There are many courses designed by pro players within the top 1% of the game to teach you the meta and how to effectively climb up the ladder. So if you want to get to the top 4 of your games, then go to ProGuides.com today and we will see you there. Link will be included in the description below. Alright, let's jump into the video, beginning with number 10 on our list, which is Zyra. For a one-cost unit, she certainly holds her own not only during the early game, but late game as well. Her damage output becomes insane if you put a mage cap on her, but even without, she'll probably be your top 3 damage carry. Being a summoners and an Inferno, she summons untargetable flame spitters at random hexes, which will attack the nearest enemy. The amazing thing about summoners is that the Morellonomicon works on the summoned units as well. So Morellos and a Seraph's Embrace means a lot of plants that will burn through your enemy's units. We highly recommend picking up an early Zyra and trying to go for a mage and summoner build. It might not be the most insane OP composition, but it's one of the most fun and can definitely land you in the top 4. Number 9 on the list is Brand. Returning from Set 1, Brand has shown himself as a steady unit for many compositions. Inferno and Mage makes him a pretty aggressive carry, and if you're able to get 6 mages with 100% double cast, Brand's ability becomes perfect for clearing the board. He received a slight buff with a longer range for his bounce, and also a minor attack speed buff. This has become more predominant this patch. Number 8 is Diana. Although she doesn't have the carry potential for late game like Zyra does, she is arguably one of the strongest units early game. As an assassin, she jumps to the back line and will quickly annihilate the other team. Her kit involves 3 orbs that explode when they collide with an enemy, but she also gains a shield. Any assassin that's able to protect themselves as well is an A+ in our books. Number 7 is Jax. He's on this list for just one reason: Iceborne Gauntlet. Let's be honest, this item has been insane in general, but Jax is even more broken with it than Shen was in Set 1. Once his ability goes off, he dodges all incoming attacks for 2 seconds. But that's not it. Afterwards, he also stuns them for 1.5 seconds, giving him plenty of time to regain his mana again. Before you know, the board becomes an icy field of slow attacking enemies, giving you a significant advantage. Unfortunately, if you don't have Iceborne though, his synergies are only Light and Berserker, making him less appealing to put in most compositions. But if you do have them, say hello to some easy win streaks. On to number 6, Olaf. Arguably one of the most satisfying units to watch destroy on the battlefield. With a 4 Glacial and 6 Berserkers build specifically, Olaf will run around CCing all and smashing them to oblivion. His ability gives him additional attack speed and 50% lifesteal based on missing health, and strongest of all, immunity to crowd control for the rest of the combat. Simply a rampant beast on the loose. Unfortunately, there is a bug right now where Olaf has the potential to be stunned by Glacial, but that should be fixed in no time. His only weakness would be red buff or Morellos, but if your enemy doesn't have it, then let Olaf free to win the game for you. As an honorable mention in a Berserkers build, Mundo is also quite strong. With almost infinite life regen, he does a great job acting as a tank as Olaf does all the CC and damage. Speaking of CC is number 5, Malphite. Many compositions lack a solid tank in Set 2, which makes Malphite a wonderful unit to put in. Mountain only requires 2 units to get a giant shield, and like Sejuani or Cho'Gath last patch, his CC is just insane. The giant rock just flies to an enemy, knocking all enemies in the air and stunning them. With the bigger board and positioning being more difficult, it's nice to see a simple tank that you can just plop in the front lines. Feeling squishy? Just look for a giant rock to protect your units. Sounds simple enough, right? But if we're going to talk about the best CC in the game, it has to be our next champion on the list. Number 4 is Nami. Her tidal wave sweeps basically half the map, guaranteed to hit the majority of the enemy's units. But not only that, her wave isn't just detrimental to your enemies, but extremely advantageous to your allies. While stunning and knocking up enemies, any allies her wave passes through will also gain additional magic damage on hit. Her trait is also Ocean and Mystic, which provides consistent mana gain and magic resist to the whole team. A wonderful support that has the best CC, we highly recommend giving her a try. She is a legendary though, so if you're unable to find her, Janna is a great substitute as the next best support. She's a Cloud and Mystic with a giant redemption build into her kit. Put her next to a carry to knock away any assassins trying to kill your best unit. Moving on to number 3 is Kha'Zix. Kha'Zix is a personal favorite of one of our challenger analysts. He has a 40 mana pool with a 10 mana refund and guaranteed crits. With such a low mana pool, he's constantly being stealthed throughout combat. Try putting Seraphs on him and his ability is basically permanent. As an assassin, he also focuses and stealth jumps to the lowest health targets. Pop an IE on him and now he will also be doing 2000 crit on everyone. Although it does not get counted for Phantom Dancer, compositions that don't run the item will never be able to target him as he jumps around murdering everyone. Enough about all these epics and legendaries though, because number 2 on our list is Kindred. I'm sure we all know how strong this unit is. Wolf mauls Kindred's targets, dealing magic damage and reducing healing by 80% to her target for 5 seconds, while Lamb leaps away from Kindred's target. For a rare and only 3 cost, she already has 3 synergies built into her kit, all being aggressive ones as well with Ranger, Shadow, and Inferno. No matter the composition you're running, most players will pick up Kindred immediately when they see her. She's basically an insane kiting unit. Even at level 1, she provides crazy damage to maintain your health in the early and mid game. And drum rolls please for our number 1 champion in set 2. If you've played a few games, you would have guessed this already. Number 1 is Malzahar. Did you expect us to say another legendary or even the 7 units Lux? Nope, it's actually our cheap 2-cost unit, Malzahar. He's a unit that can carry you from early to late game and is also a hard counter to many. Against a level 3 Veigar, pop a Malzahar with Shojin and have his Voidlings rapidly spawn over the entire map. Veigar will be taking his sweet time to ult away all those tiny units instead. Or a Kha'Zix that's constantly jumping around? Well, he can jump on the tiny summons instead of your units. With the new update as well, a victory is granted to you even if your Malzahar dies but the Voidlings are alive. Being a Shadow Summoner, he excels in both compositions, but can also be used in a Mage comp by giving him a Mage's Cap. As another honorable mention though, if you're running a Shadow composition, Master Yi will eventually steal the show with his hard-hitting attacks and healing abilities. However, for a 2-cost unit, we feel that Malzahar is insanely strong and deserving of the number 1 title. And before we end today's video, we do have a few units that we want to mention that didn't make it to the list even though they're good. Here's our honorable mentions list. First up is Yasuo, being a great carry early game. As most players will stack items on their hyper carries, Yasuo will do a quick job in disabling them from attacking and killing them quickly. However, he does fall off hard from the mid to late game, especially if you're unable to level 3 him. Another unit is Twitch, great carry with super long range to proc on hit abilities. He can certainly shine in a Poison Ranger build, making it impossible for your opponents to use their ability. However, make sure you have a tankier composition for him as he can take a while being a bit slow at the start of combat. Annie is also here in our honorable mentions list. Good synergies along with a giant bear that is essentially like a giant aggressive daisy. But she is an epic and our 2-cost and 1-cost units like Malzahar and Zyra just shine so much as a summoner for their low cost. Same situation with our 5-cost summoner Zed. With the right items, he can easily jump to the top 10 list. With his ability Living Lightning, he does spawn identical clones to himself, meaning all the items will be there as well. Super strong synergies, but very items reliant, more so than everyone else on the list. And as a legendary, we can always expect to be able to find him to complete our composition. There's also Sivir, who's consistently good. Not an OP unit that makes the match particularly interesting for you, but her ability, Ricochet, where her attacks temporarily bounces to nearby units, will allow her to shred through units in a desert composition. And lastly is Lux. Lux doesn't get into our list as her ability is simply a giant blast. Definitely not a bad ability, but for her to be good in a composition, it's highly dependent on her synergy. Having the potential to be 10 different synergy each game, sometimes she becomes the perfect last unit to complete your comp, or a completely worthless unit for you to re-roll. Due to the inconsistency, we left her out of our top 10. But hey, she is the only 7-cost unit in the game, so it wouldn't be right if we didn't even mention her. Let us know if there are any other strong units that we didn't mention in this video, since that's it for today. Obviously, since rank is not out yet, there's no hard meta and everyone's just having fun, so these units are able to shine. We'll be sure to keep you guys updated in the future on best ranking compositions. What have been your favorite units so far? Let us know in the comments below. We plan to upload a lot more now that set 2 is out, with so much more to learn again, so like and subscribe and we'll see you all next time.